Welcome to another unit of the ISM Exercise Set Statistics 2. This time with a unit on testing for stochastic independence. So one of the three chi-square tests we are going to talk here. Let's have a look at the exercise. You collect for 200 people the age and divide them in the groups younger than 30 and 30 and older. In addition, you collect whether they smoke or not. Of the total sample, 30% are younger than 30 and 28% smoke. Of the older people, 10.5% smoke. Then our task, use a suitable test with a margin of error of 5%, whether a significant relationship between smoking behavior and age does exist. So first off, I need to construct a table which I can then use as the given values. So for this, just construct here my table. I have on the one side the age, younger than 30, 30 and older, and the sum of both of them. And on the other part I have smoking, yes, no. Then what do I have given? I know in total it's 200 people. I know of those 200, 60 are younger than 30. And I know, if I calculate this, that 56 are smokers. In addition, I know of the older people, 21 are smoking. With these values, I can calculate all the other missing ones. So first I get here the non-smokers. That's just the difference between 200 and 56. Then I get it older people. That's the difference between 200 and 60. Then, well, I can more or less continue with one of two choices. So I start at the upper left with the difference between all smokers and the older smokers, giving me here 35 as younger smokers, so that in total I get 56 again. Then I can fill out the younger people who do not smoke. That's the missing 25, so that I get to 60. And the missing older people who not smoke, that's 140 minus 21. Then I have my full table with the given frequencies. So the next step would be to get my expected frequencies. The expected frequencies, for this I just copy the table along with my marginal frequencies. So the sums for all the different variables. That's basically what I have from the original table. Then for each entry, I multiply the marginal frequency of this column and of the row and divide this by the overall number of observations. So for the one in the upper left, I multiply 56 and 60 and divide this by 200, giving me then 16.8. For the younger than 30 people, non-smokers, I multiply 60 with 144, divide this by 200, giving me here 43.2. And the same thing I do for the older people. Then, if I have the two tables, I can actually compare both of them. And that's what the chi-square test actually does. Calculating the difference between the given frequencies and the expected frequencies, squaring this difference and dividing this by the expected frequency. And the chi-square statistic is basically doing this for all my entries in my contingency table. That's what I'm basically doing here in the next step when I calculate my chi-squared statistic. I'm always considering given value minus expected value in parentheses to the power of 2 divided by the expected value. Doing this for all four entries of my contingency table. And if I calculate this in total, I will get a test statistic of 39.1204. In addition to the test statistic, I also need a reference statistic. Reference statistic is here given as chi-squared. I minus 1 times j minus 1. I, the large I here, is the number of rows. The large j is the number of columns. So here I have a 2 times 2 table. So I and j are both 2. So my degrees of freedom, that's the first part, is 1. Then I only have to calculate 1 minus the error probability. The error probability was here 5%. So 1 minus alpha is 95%. If I look up this value in my table for the chi-squared statistic or chi-squared distribution, I find there a value of 3.8415. With this value and the test statistic, I can actually conduct my test. So I compare both statistics. Here I see that my test statistic is significantly larger than my reference statistic. This means my H0 hypothesis is rejected. H0 hypothesis means there's no relation between the two variables. So if I reject this, this means age and smoking behavior are stochastically dependent. So there is some kind of relation between age and smoking behavior. Yeah, and that's the answer to the question of this exercise. Thereby, we can conclude this exercise. And I hope you enjoyed listening to it. And if you're looking for more exercises, feel free to visit the rest of the exercise set or take a look in the corresponding playlist. I say goodbye and see you the next time.